Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's our fourth Tuesday of the month. My favorite Tuesday of the month.
Me too. Hi, everybody.
Let's say hello. First one in was Beth as Phaser Rising. Hello. Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha, Viviani. Aloha, Plucky Heroine. Hi, Deanne. Blue Crescent Tarot. Oh, Tarot Stash is lurking. Hi, Gerald. Mwah.
Howdy.
Hello, hello. Oh, aloha, Pia's Live. Welcome. Welcome everyone who is coming in, and welcome to everyone who's watching the playback.
Oh, there's Pamela just popped in. Hi.
Hi, Pamela. Aloha.
Probably haven't even dinged yet on YouTube.
Well, I threw up a little link on Facebook, like in less than an hour we're going live. So
yeah.
Cool.
Probably
got some attention. So how have you been in the last month, my dear?
I've been well. Been very well. And we were just before we came on, we were talking about processing a lot. So that's been me processing a lot of really good stuff. How about you, sir? How have you been?
It's been amazing because I've been, processing. The processing is also bringing lots of rewards in a way. So, I got invited to be the tarot reader for Art Mix in 10 days? Wow.
In 10 days. So everybody, what Art Mix is on Maui is Maui's miniature version of Burning Man. They don't burn stuff, but there's lots of neon lights. There's lots of aerial performers on stage and magical stuff. And
DJs
so it is.
There's an international art gallery that usually has a show that's themed, the party is themed off of. And,
so what is this year? The year I went, it was now I don't remember, but they had a Cirque du Soleil. They had Cirque du Soleil performance because there's a woman here that used to be in Cirque du Soleil who's trained a bunch of people. And there was also this troupe of guys that were Aztec gods that performed this whole big play. It was no words, but music. And oh my God, those guys were gorgeous. Hello. I tried to ask them where they were from. I'm like, you don't live here. Are you
Every time I go to one of these art mixes, I'm in shock. I'm like, where did all these beautiful people come from? They're all tall, statuesque, gorgeous. I'm like,
bronze and
where did you come from?
10% body
every art
fat.
I've ever been to, these people come. It's just
and of course they're all just out of high school for the most part, so there's that.
The early 20s thing, Then,
but it certainly is a lot of fun.
Actually modeled in a show at one of the art mixes.
Really?
He was dressed as the god Anubis, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, this guy did his art installation thing where he was showing off his vest that he made, the reversible vest that he makes. So he had all the models come out as Egyptian gods, and that was a gorgeous show. That was amazing, right?
So I love this. Build a field of woo, and they will come. Yeah, I went in real early with my sister was actually visiting, and a couple other ladies, and we linked arms. We went really early. We linked arms, and one of the gals goes, "Come on, you old hags, let's go get drunk."
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
I love the art mix though, because I have just the premises because I was at the second art mix that was ever done. That was the black and white. And at the beginning, it was very different from what it is now. Now it's kind of just like Burning Man got taken over by all the beautiful people, and now it's all the party and stuff.
Yeah,
it was all about art at the beginning.
That's right, because I remember there was interactive exhibits to go around and actually touch and create the art as you were. Yeah.
Right, and there was stations where you go and make your own thing that you get to keep the little thing that you made, and there was there. It was family friendly at the beginning. So
yeah, it's been gentrified. It's been gentrified, just like Burning Man, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Beth has a good point. Burning Man was about heartbreak in the beginning.
Really?
Yeah, I never went to Burning Man, but I've been wanting to go since '97.
Well, if Jeff,
that was when I got in. That was my first invite. Was in '97, and I wish I had gone in '97 because that was. Like
if my friend Jeff pops in, he was a burner, and my old neighbor, who Jonathan also knows, Corinne, she was a burner, big time burner. Oh. So,
speaking of burning, what decks do you have with you?
Yeah, everybody. Dex decided to come with. I have my little baby tarot. I think it's the Radiant. Then I have my little chakra deck, and I have an Oracle deck that wanted to come, which is interesting because this is about, it's an Oracle deck, but I kind of feel like it is what to focus on moving forward, kind of an instructional kind of thing.
I also had an Oracle deck kind of jump out at me and want to come play, and that's the Awakened Soul Oracle deck by Ethany.
And do show that tarot deck. I got a sneak peek, guys. You're not going to believe this thing.
So this is a Kickstarter that I had backed. It's the Unifying Consciousness Tarot by Lori Lytle and Leo. I can never say his last name. Scopasa. Wait, what is that?
Wow. Scopacasa.
Yeah, Sobacasa. Thank you. Are you two really going to wrestle right under me? Of course they are. That's why I have the spray bottle. Hey.
Break it up.
Break it up. At least get it away from me.
Oh, so here, Beth has popped in the description below.
Let's see. Betsy, a man burned his love letters after a breakup on the beach in California. His friends all started doing it. City banned the burning after a while, and they turned to the desert. Phoenix Rising concept.
Cool.
Right, because I remember the original Burning Man was stuffed full of all these letters that people had written.
That's cool. So Jonathan's little deck looked deceptive on the outside, but...
So yeah, this is a fun little deck. The inside of the box it won't open all the way, so I can't show you. There we go.
There we go. It's like going down into the void.
Yes, I will just give you a hint, and I'll show you the Temperance card here.
Yeah, to me that is just so Lemurian.
I love the blue and the blue on the back. It's just amazing too. I don't know. The light's not really quite catching how metallic that is, but
yeah, that did it.
That did it.
So I pulled a couple of cards. Since cards are talking to me this morning, I pulled a couple of cards about what's going on today. And so the Native Spirit deck said pull me first. And here's what I got. The Freedom Horse. So breaking free. And then my chakra deck wanted to come out and play. And I got Heart and Crown chakras. So we're dealing with some pretty high vibe stuff today, guys. So I would encourage anybody that has some kind of a esoteric kind of questioning to go with it, because it sounds like today's the day.
And I've got a Boston with the zoomies. What are you guys doing? Hey! Oh my God. I gotta go stop the destruction.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yes, that you've got the deck too. I like that deck too. And has anybody else been processing stuff? I don't know about you guys, but this new moon was really big for me. I do most of my moon work on the new moon. This one was really big and in a really good way, moving through a lot of stuff, clearing out a lot of baggage, but also I think it's just kind of the place in life. I'm in my 60s, so you start realizing that your youth is so far behind you now. It's not. I don't need to identify it with it as closely. Oh, good. Beth has already got a question for us. So when we get rolling,
yeah, I'm feeling
I do have two more friends around me. I have Roger, a little dragon, tiger's eye dragon, and a Galena spike, which is just like an amplifier. So
I have things behind me, but I don't want to show all of them.
Yeah, you got all your stuff. Well,
and of course, I've got the sister's necklace, and I've got my dragon.
Yeah. Yes, I have Vixie on too. It's kind of hard to see with the shirt, but yes, more dragons. More dragons. Whoops, more dragons. And I have a dragon ring too on. So
what's funny is I almost grabbed the dragon robe, and then I just didn't for some reason. Because this one is.
I think they're fairly well represented. Because there's Qigong right there with us. So
I love that.
Pretty well represented.
Yeah, I've got several little mini dragons over here.
Hi, Wiki. Oh, cutie pie.
Aloha, Wiki.
So,
so you have a question? Just
yes, yeah, and so you guys pop your questions in. Caps always help, or like that. Yeah, that helps, so we don't lose you.
Professional tarot reading.
Yes, we are. Hi, Adam Bluefire. Yes, we are matching. We Jonathan and I usually end up with the color memo reception, and before our shows, we usually get the memo somehow, the telepathic memo. Adam Bluefire, I have not seen you in chat before. Hi.
Welcome back, Adam Bluefire. Yeah, Adam Bluefire was giving us lots of great questions when Sasha was here.
Oh, nice. Sweet. Well, I'm not sure. Oh, okay. I'm supposed to draw a card, but I'm supposed to say something first. And that is, I don't know. I'm struggling with saying this because it sounds judgy. But what I'm being told to say is the biggest thing that your spiritual team wants you to hear right now is that if you are going to be doing professional tarot readings, that you must remember that you still have to remove all aspects of the person you identify as you from it. So sitting down in the chair and putting the deck in your hand, you are no longer Aspasia Rising. You are no longer Beth. You are no longer you. You are a tool, as the card is the tool.
That goes perfectly with the first card I pulled, actually. I pulled the 3 of coins. So it's a reminder that the reading is not about you. The reading is the coming together of you, the querent, and the guides. Not just your guides, the other person's guides as well. So it's working with all 3 of that energies in order to give the best reading you can.
And also what they're indicating to me is that obviously removing all, stripping away all forms of personhood in doing this, that you, the new chain of thought is that you're going to be working a little more as a medium and a channel than what you anticipated with it.
Well, and it's funny because that goes with the Heart of Swords, which is the equivalent of the Queen of Swords that I got here. You know, the Ace of Swords, right? And
it looks like the same card, though.
Right? Well, because the Queen holds the Ace of Swords.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Each of the court cards holds the ace of that suit. And this is a reminder that, you have to nurture the other person's thoughts, nurture the way that they communicate with themselves. And then the final card I pulled was Mind of Pentacles, which is also the equivalent of the King, right? So while yes, you need to take care of their their mind, don't forget about physical realm as well, which means you also need to take care of your physical self, and don't be giving away readings for free if you're going to be professional. Unless it's something like this, we're both professionals, but we offer these readings once a month as a taste of what we offer. So think of it that way, right? It's like you're nurturing their minds, but don't forget that this is also a business. It's not just about reading the cards.
And what's this teaching thing that keeps coming up? What is this teaching about the tarot that keeps coming up? It's like, if you're offering readings, do the reading. If you want to teach people how to read tarot, don't try and do it in a reading. Just do the reading. But the teaching, because I got the sacral chakra, creativity, the teaching aspect of it is a separate thing, and you may find more interest in outside people wanting to learn from you once you begin giving readings. So there's a little bit of an overlap. You're going to get people that want a reading, but they also want to learn how to read. So keep those two things separate.
Mm-hmm. And I pulled the final card from the Oracle, and it's gratitude. So I'm seeing this as a reminder to be grateful for each of the readings that you offer, that you give, because it's an exchange of energy. And when you're professional, and you start seeing, getting 14 readings in 6 hours, like I did last time I did a tarot party, you have to treat each person fully, be fully invested in each one that you're reading for, and be grateful for each one. Because not only are they coming so you can practice, but they're coming and giving you money for the readings. So there's something about gratitude in the practice of the business as well. Don't forget to give back, which ties in with the whole teaching thing, right?
And do you see your comment on the bottom?
I've been thinking about suggesting that I teach a small course on tarot basics for real, and yes, quite separate.
And what's interesting is when I read that, I saw teach a small course on tarot for business. That's a whole area of specialty that can be quite lucrative, right? When you're working with businesses, if you're in a city.
I don't have any of those books with me, but yes, I have. I recently bought a book specifically about being a fortune teller and how to do it, and the business background part of it, and how you need to have contracts, and just like any other business.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So.
Cool. All righty. Yep.
Has a question.
Hope that helps
for us.
I'm guessing that was. Reading. I'm guessing that was just reinforcing kind of what you already knew.
I think so too. Yeah. So Adam Bluefire asks us, what is our belief on cremation and burial, spiritually speaking? I've heard people asking that if cremated, it's hard to reincarnate or cuts an energetic tether between body and spirit. I've got the.
That one doesn't resonate for me. You what?
Trash truck.
Oh, no, that one doesn't resonate for me because I'm choosing cremation. My mom chose cremation, and she talks to me a lot.
Vikings cremated their dead all the time. I mean,
my dad was cremated, and so that that doesn't.
In India, one of the hubs of reincarnation.
So cuts an energetic tether between body and spirit. I don't know, because both of my parents still come to me identifying as the people I would recognize. So anybody I know actually that comes through is someone I recognize. Right?
Mm-hmm. There's
So
many cultures in the world that cremate their dead, and for a safety reason. I mean, it helps keep down disease.
yeah, pop in what the culture is that believes that cremation is not good. I would like to know what culture that is, because pretty much everything I know about setting intention and creating spells, fire and burning is kind of a big part of it. So
right,
yeah.
And many cultures cremate their dead. So
oh, and here right above that, look what's there. My best readings are when I channel messages.
Right, that's for that 3 of coins.
Yeah.
That.
So yeah, so how are you doing? You're okay, you have stuff starred. I was gonna say, how are you doing as a moderator? Because I'm
next we have Wiki. So let me just shuffle these decks for you real quick.
Trip in a month, international, and I am an anxious traveler. Okay.
My mother is an anxious traveler. She always packs weeks ahead of time so she can repack and repack and repack several times.
I don't do that, but I do plan what I want to bring. But my goal is, here's how much I enjoy traveling. My goal is to never get on an airplane again as long as I live. International travel. Yeah. Okay. Come on, Betsy. Get yourself out of it. Hold on. I have to go to tarot. I have to switch decks. I was starting to get all triggered.
Hello, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Welcome. So he says, my gran was Catholic and she really didn't want cremated. Don't know if that was a Catholic thing or just a
cremation is hard on the environment. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I can't imagine embalmed bodies are that good for the ground either.
Well, I like her idea of being a tree pod.
Yeah, like Bodie B here. There's a guy here that's done. Oh, geez, since
oh yeah, I met Bodie.
Since the late '90s, he's been into green burials.
Well, they couldn't do they don't have land for the pods. So they've been doing I talked to him for a while at the death store.
At sea, right?
Yeah. They do it at sea. Yeah, burials at sea.
Okay. All right, Wiki. Let me focus. Wiki. If you're ready, Jonathan, you go.
Okay. So,
oh, wait. We have a jumper. Oh, okay. So this is good news. Since I am trying to not be triggered, here's some good news. Yes, I'm taking that as good news that this is going to work out. And now I get to go to Oracle deck.
Pamela says, I'm trying to find your story, Jonathan. How do I find it? I think I put a link in the description. If not,
Wiki.
There's my Etsy shop, and if you want anything on there, if you guys use all capital thanks, you get 15% off anything you order.
Okay.
Storyteller. Ooh.
And intuitively, what I get out of this is getting lost in the stories. I'm going to assume if you're doing international travel, you're there to see particular things. I am going to say to go down the rabbit hole of investigating these things. If it's art galleries, whoever created the art and the story behind the art, if it's landmarks, really get into the history of the landmarks and focus on origins. And I'm going to look up in the book and see what else it has to say. Jonathan, do you have something?
I have the 7 of Cups popped out first. So this is a reminder that, like, don't let yourself get overwhelmed by all the possibilities of a trip, right? Focus on just the things you need to focus on. What is it you need to bring? What is it that you need to prepare for? What is it that is like would make the trip the easiest. That's what I'm seeing here. Don't let yourself look at this face, totally overwhelmed by all the possibilities. But don't let that happen. I think that's part of the anxiety, right?
Well, and not knowing directions on how to get from point A to point B. Just the logistics of things can be overwhelming.
Right. So rely on the kindness of strangers. Here's the 6 of coins, right? So don't forget, you can always ask anybody in the airport, like, how do I get here? I can't get there fast enough. Can you give me a ride? Like, you can ask for help, okay? So if you're having like a little bit of confusion about where to go, or where my bag, where do I go to get my bag, or whatever that kind of stuff is, ask. That's what the people are there for, right? They're there to help. Right. And my final card here in the tarot, we have the Emperor. So don't forget that travel is very regulated. Okay. There's always lots of little systems in place that you may not necessarily see, but it keeps travel regulated, safe. And I mean, recently here there was a plane whose front window cracked, and they didn't continue. They turned around and came back. So, like, don't worry about the travel part. It's very regimented. It's everything. It has its place. Everything goes on time usually, unless there's delays, which there's still systems in place for delays too. So.
And so I looked up the card meaning in the book on mine, and it says, live larger than life. Make the most of every experience. Find interpretations that empower you. Be a storyteller and the hero of your own life. So that resonates pretty well. I'm sticking with my original deal. Yeah. I'm thinking this is going to be great. I think so too. That you're going to actually really love the destination.
Well, and here the final card I pulled, the Oracle card, is connections. So it's going to be connections with people, but don't forget connections with self, right? And if you're feeling anxious, yoga. Right? You can find a yoga thing on YouTube, just like an easy yoga, 15-minute stretch kind of thing, just to help with anxiety. But also, don't forget, travel is all about connecting, right? Connecting with others, connecting with other cultures, connecting with other places. So.
And broadening those horizons, applause. You wouldn't be going there if you didn't want to challenge yourself. So, applause.
Thank you. Wow, terrific, Betsy. Thank you both. Cool. You guys are great for stress relief. Thank you. Oh, and Deanne says, I need that pose right now. My neck.
Ice, baby. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, for me, it's all about the eating bad baby.
I do both. If I do ice first, but if that doesn't cut it, then I alternate. I do that one. Okay, where were we? And I see Adam keeps posting some amazing things, dude.
Yeah, he's definitely all about the questions here, right?
Plucky heroine. What's blocking my creativity? Well, okay, so straight away, my guides wanted me to go pick up my drum and start banging it. And they're telling me it's because you're banging your own drum. You keep reinforcing your creativity is blocked. My creativity is blocked. My creativity is blocked. And so here's the deal. Whether it is true or not is beyond the point. If you're feeling like you can't create right now, you can't create. Instead of sitting there going, I can't create. How long is this going on? Let's say, okay, right now I'm supposed to be resting. Let's embrace this. What is this teaching me now? Because I am here and I want to be doing this and I'm unable to do this. Let us sit here in this moment and figure out what I'm supposed to be feeling instead. they're saying that the creation part could be your way of saying of avoidance. Instead of sitting and embracing something within you that is wanting to come up and out, it comes out as a hurry up drive force to do something, to create something. It's like an attempt to take what's in here and get rid of it by manifesting it into a something. So they're saying, don't forget, this is why voodoo dolls work. So let's work on what's going on in here a little bit. Let's take this moment of block and let's take a look at this and let's love this for the story that it brings to you. And what I do, and they're saying to me that this will also work for you, is to sit down and write the story. And it can be simple, like you're writing a book for children that you want very young people to be able to understand, or it can be as fancy and floofy and swoopy and dramatic as Charlotte Bronte, whatever you want. But if you can tell a story that is able to communicate how you are feeling, and this is the way to start processing this through you, instead of taking this feeling and turning it into a something else. They want you to tell the story of this feeling. Sorry.
Gerald says sympathetic magic works.
Yeah, I went on a rant there, didn't I? It was hard.
Well, and Adam Bluefire says blocks can be necessary to sometimes prevent us from being somewhere we shouldn't and to realign us.
Yes, thank you. That's very well said.
Is a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, I think they're telling me this. They just keep saying avoidance. They keep saying avoidance. And I think taking the lid off whatever that thing is, and I don't get the feeling like this is like something like that would make a good Dateline investigation by any means. I think this is something that's more personal and smaller, but it's just something that deserves to have some light brought to it.
So I'm actually going to start with the Oracle this time, because this goes so perfectly with what you just said. It's trust. And you see the caterpillar going into cocoon, becoming the butterfly and flying up, right? So creativity is just like this. Sometimes you're stuck in the caterpillar stage. Sometimes you're stuck in the like forming stage, right? You're in between being a caterpillar and a butterfly. So sometimes that blockage is there just to let you have time to process what it is you're trying to do with your creativity, right? And the cards I got definitely go along with it. We got the 9 of Pentacles here, right? Don't forget to smell the roses. That's kind of what blockage is for too. Just make you like pause for a minute and take in where you are, what you're doing, what you're turning into. Because, we're all going through this process over and over again. And it takes strength to get through it all, right? Strength to persevere, to just, I don't know if you notice, but here she's smelling a rose, and here the rose is being placed on the lion.
And the cats. How many cats do you have? There's a familiar that's going to help, that can help you with this.
Yes. Oh, yeah, let's put it back this way. So first 2 cards definitely go together very well here.
Beautifully.
Mm-hmm. And our final card, we have the star. Right? Sometimes we have to get out of our own way in order to actually create. I know for myself, sometimes it's like when I start that creative process, like the consciousness checks out, right? And I just become a channel for the creativity to flow through. So
2 cats, Mildred and Gladys. There we go. And I don't know if you saw this in the beginning. I showed this was the card that called to be like the theme of this chat, Freedom Horse. So if there's a hesitation about bringing something to light that it may become all consuming, no, that's your ticket to riding off into the sunset, to bring this up into light and release. They're saying like they're showing me mushrooms throwing off spawn, dandelions throwing off the fuzzies, coral throwing off spawn. It's boom, it'll be gone.
Hi, Lori Kramer.
Hi.
Yeah, and this is really screaming at me too. The star going towards the heart, right? You have to create from the heart. Don't let your brain get in the way of your creativity.
Yeah.
So in some ways, the blockage is up here, and if you just let the heart flow, even if it's just like, let's pick up a blank canvas and some paints, and I'm just going to start splotching color on. Who knows what's going to happen? Just letting yourself flow, I think, also gets you out of that headspace of being trapped. Right?
I got it. Not trying to dictate what is allowed to come through you.
Yes. That's what I've been trying to say. Thank you. Let it flow, right? Let it flow through. Don't let your brain dictate what's happening.
Yes. Don't try and judge what's acceptable.
And I like this. Pamela Batcher says nothing helps release like time in the garden and being outside doing some work. Maybe you should go outside, do some plein air painting, right? Go in the garden and or something like that, right? Or if you don't want to paint, just draw or write a poem or whatever it is that how your creativity comes out.
And I think this comment also speaks to what we're talking about. Too concerned about the accomplishment, not the process. I think that is part of whatever this is down here, the emotions that are being held down. I think that is how that is manifesting, is by deciding what's acceptable.
Right. And being reminded that it's not the end goal that's important. It's the journey to get there. The journey is way more important than the goal. Because if you focus on the journey, you'll get to the goal. But if you're just focusing on the goal and not paying attention to the journey, then that's when you tend to stumble and find blockages because you're not paying attention to where you're going. Right?
Cool. Hope that helps.
If that helps. Ooh, we're just flowing today, aren't we? I think that was the last question I had start.
Really?
But we can always go back to some of these things.
Let's go back to some of these comments that are in here.
Yeah, Adam Bluefire, question. What are your thoughts on the continuum that all timelines continuously exist in the ether? If this is the case, it's quite possible for two of your lifetime souls to connect with each other.
Man, that's so interesting. Boy, is that interesting. What timing? Yes, I do believe that. I'm not very good with rules and limitations. So yeah, I think anything is possible.
Like I've jumped timelines before. Like things are a certain way, and then I turn around and like, why is nothing the way I remember it? What?
And when I was talking about, Jonathan, while you had stepped out, I was talking about doing new moon rituals, and the one that I did this time was for two souls to retrieve a connection, to release the past, so to come together in recognition of one another, and that way to release the past, to remember who they were together in their timeline, that they were in physical form together, to release the trying to figure out what's wrong with them in their current lifetimes. I'm not sure if this is making any sense to anybody, but
I'm getting distracted by Nene flying by.
What is it?
A flock of Nene just flew by. Ooh! You hear them? Oh my God! There's.
Is it
12 of them?
Wow! Cool. Yeah. So
I see on my back door.
Jonathan, and anybody else, tell me if this makes sense. Doing a ritual for two souls to come together in a very long ago lifetime, so that would release them in the current lives they're living from a yearning and a longing they cannot figure or understand. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, because part of it was me asking about what is the yearning. And so this whole story came up, which I wrote down, and did a ritual of bringing together to release. And the whole reason that ritual is necessary for these two souls was so that they could be more fully present in their current incarnations. So Adam, Blue Fire, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We have another question here. I'm going to star some more Adam Blue Fire comments so we can come back to it. But Gerald would like a general reading.
Okay. Ooh.
General is great because I already had someone read about the quilting retreat we're on starting tomorrow. Ooh. Oh, that's cool. In response to what you were saying, Adam Bluefire says, I did an astrological reading for someone and connected to a spirit who turned out to be the person I was reading for's other self from another lifetime, giving him advice in this life. Oh, yeah.
That happened to me too. A guy in my room, his future self came to explain to him what this lifetime was. Yeah. Chicken skin. Mm-hmm. Adam, do you have a channel? I want to subscribe. I see he's got the little YouTube thing there, so I'm gonna have to go look you up now. Okay. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Okay. Gerald.
Interesting. You're still shuffling. I'm gonna go.
You go.
This jumped out at me. So from the Oracle, we have boundaries. General reading. So there's something about boundaries going on with you right now. I don't know if your boundaries are too tight or if they're too loose, but there's something about, I don't know, keeping people away. And it kind of goes with this 9 of coins here again that popped up again. See the wall, keeping the wall. Everyone stay out. I'm smelling my roses. Leave me alone. What are you laughing about over there?
Because I was mussing around with a deck, and while you were talking, I was hearing forget the deck. So there's a lot of talk about Gerald as a teacher on YouTube, and I have solar plexus chakra as the first thing that wanted to come up. And so this is a little bit about the teaching. Jonathan said boundaries, and I was sorry because now it sounds like I'm just going to piggyback and just try and reconfirm what you're saying. But honestly, I was getting is, well, we know Gerald was a very good manager in his profession. We know he was a very good manager about empowering people and giving them autonomy. But I'm getting a little caution. If there was a shadow card in an oracle deck, it would be to be the good manager. Give these students everything they know, not everything you know.
Oh, and that kind of goes along with the next card, which is the 7 of Swords. right? So there's a lot of good about thinking outside the box, but don't let it become a trap. Is what I'm getting here. And watch your back. Like, careful about how much you share with others is what I'm getting here, right? Like, because what you share can come back and bite you on the ass. I don't know where that came from, but and be careful about what you're creating. Okay. I see that solar plexus color in this card too, all the yellow in there.
Yeah.
Right?
Kind of similar in some regard.
Yeah, similar look too with that star of life in the middle there. So, God, I just lost it.
I kind of feel like he's already downloaded it.
Yeah,
I feel like anything else we say at this point is just going to be,
right.
Yeah, I kind of feel like now we're trying to paint on top of Swarovski. So
there's that circle again, right? So it's a reminder that you can also have boundaries within boundaries. Yeah. Is what I'm getting here. So,
yeah.
So there's inner boundaries. I'm sure you're well aware of the inner circles and stuff. So, sorry, this I think I missed your question before. But.
And there, yeah, Gerald. No overexposure, man. We don't want some kind of cancellation thing happening. So overexposure. Yep.
Yeah, door's just closed.
We love you too much for there to be any controversy.
Yeah. Gerald
teach
says,
them, yes.
Teach them everything they know, not everything.
Not everything you know. Correct. That's it.
And that's a lesson I've had to learn because I always
be a good manager.
Give too much.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, when I was in college, that was the number one complaint about any time I gave a presentation was too much information. It was hard to, be overachieving and everything. Overexposure. Got it. Wear a mask.
Pia, yeah, I do remember that your question was way up there, but yeah.
I don't know. Somehow I missed it in the stars. I thought I had starred everything.
Yeah, I remember reading it way back at the top, but my mod skills are so.
I don't know. Can you?
Oh, sorry, but maybe this is the perfect timing because we needed.
Great if we could star stuff.
we needed to focus on hers especially, and not have to worry about anything coming up or behind or yeah.
Right. Okay. Oh my God! I already got a jumper. Well, that was a quick jumper. Okay, let's see. Let me get Pia's question up here. Why is it not sweet? There we go. I don't know why my computer sometimes I have to click several times before the click actually gets through. I don't know. Old computer. That's long. That's what I'm going to go with. Any advice from my guides about me reaching out to my ancestors, my paternal grandmother in particular? That's why I got the Two of Cups jumping out at me. Your ancestors want to get in touch just as much as you want to get in touch. The thing that I'm hearing here is that there's a lot of ancestors that want to get in touch. There's 7 of Cups here, right? So once you open the door to start talking with your ancestors, don't be surprised if other ancestors come through. Okay? And be patient with yourself. I've got the 7 of Coins here. You need to be patient with that communication because they work on a different timeline than us. So it might take them a few days to respond. So be patient with yourself, be patient with the work, and don't rush things. Because you want to make sure that when you're opening those doors, you're not letting every ancestor through. Because we got bad ancestors as well as good ancestors. So that's what I'm getting here.
Yeah, what I'm getting is that you're not using a straight line, that it's going from here in order to get to there, thinking that there needs to be this gateway or permission spot in order to get there. And if what Jonathan was talking about is, why can't I ever get that right? If what Jonathan was talking about is about a lot of entities coming through, what I do, what works for me is if there's a lot of entities coming through, imagine it as a giant filing cabinet. And you want to talk to one specific being. So let's record name and very specific information pertinent only to that entity and ask for that connection. To me, I ask for the person's first and last name and any nickname that they may have been called, their date of birth, and how long they've been crossed over on the other side. That allows me to pull out the proper drawer and then search through the files to get that person's file. Because when you say, I want to talk to my paternal grandmother, there's a lot of beings up there that identify as a paternal grandmother. Let's make sure we get the exact one you want. I find that very helpful to ensure that I am communicating with the intended instead of whomever, right? That's a huge invitation. Grandmother. Well, there's a lot of beings that are going to say, hey, in one lifetime, I was a grandmother. I'm coming down to her. Guess what I'm going to tell her this time? Ha, 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 ha. Yeah.
And that goes perfect with the oracle card I pulled. Fun. Ancestors are having so much fun. And, if you call, I also see the rainbow doubling up there. If you call them, they're like, oh, hey, we got someone down there that's going to let us through and we can go back and have some fun. Let's go.
Yes. Any opportunity. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So you have to be very particular about who it is you're connecting with.
Yeah. And if you are able to connect with a lot of beings, that can be confusing in itself because they can all be saying something different. And it may not even necessarily be in a form of language that you even understand. So be specific. I want one being speaking to me slow enough so I can tell, or one being speaking to me in a language I understand and slow enough that I can understand each word. Just be specific. This is a volunteer position. You call the shots.
Pamela Batchelor says, and I have found I need to spend a lot of time with ancestors. They need my time. So
cool.
That's actually interesting that we're ending with this reading because next week I'm actually talking to a couple people who are very much into ancestors and ancestor work. Nancy Hendrickson and Carrie Paris will be here, and we will be talking about the Ofrenda Oracle, right? Cards and techniques for divining with the beloved dead. So this is specifically.
Oh.
So yes, come next week. We're going to be talking about that, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Cool.
Yeah. So let's get back here. I have quite a few things started.
Well, Adam says, what's our feelings on limbo and traps and spirits trapped between dimensions?
This was the one I was going after here. Have you heard recent theories of there being a false light, which is a forced reincarnation trap by dark elites, and that there's also a real light, which is natural ascension and reincarnation? I've heard the theories, but it seems, I don't know.
That one doesn't resonate for me because I don't believe in accidents.
Right.
So, I mean, false light, forced reincarnation would seem like an accidental forcing my soul into a new lifetime. And I don't believe that's possible. It just, and it could just be my lack of education, but that one just doesn't resonate for me.
Right. I've heard that theory where it's like the higher self will shave off a piece of itself to incarnate and then absorb them back in instead of actually doing the whole incarnation. That I think that's what he's trying to touch on, and that's always rubbed me like weirdly the wrong way too. I don't think there's any mistakes. I think it's a system that is very well modulated. I mean, it's so perfectly designed. It's ridiculous. And if you've ever done any work with the Akashic records, you'll realize how like that it just doesn't seem possible, truthfully. I don't know. I do a lot of work with the Akashic records, and like I see a lot of patterns that a lot of people don't see because of that work. And I see that one of the reasons we reincarnate is because of that natural ascension. We're constantly reincarnated to work through, because the lessons we need to learn as spiritual beings take more than one lifetime. That's why we reincarnate. We're not being forced to reincarnate. We're choosing to. It's a choice. That's the thing that this takes away. So.
Yeah, that's something I want to ponder some more, because to me, it doesn't resonate so strongly. I want to question myself about why I would reject that so intensely. I just want to examine that, because to me, this is kind of falling into the direction of the lizard people living in ice castles in Siberia. And I just don't want to form a hard decision on that, on either one of those things. I just want to.
And I'm just speaking from my own experience. So
yeah, it really doesn't resonate with me, because we're all one. So all that is perfection. And if all that is felt no need for a part of itself to be on Earth, it wouldn't be here. And what darker elite would be more powerful than perfection? I don't know.
Right.
So I need to think about that some more.
Definitely food for thought.
Yeah. That's so intriguing.
You know what, Anna Bluefire? Get in touch with me. I'd love to have you come on and have a conversation.
Yes, absolutely. I want to be in the panel. I want to be in that panel. You don't have to. You don't have to go on camera. You can just put up a picture.
Right.
I want to be a part of that camera.
Right. I can have my camera off, and I'm still here. Hello, everybody.
Yep. I want to be a part of that conversation.
Right.
Limbo. I think.
Limbo is not a trap. It's its own dimension. It's an interdimension between dimensions, and the beings that are there are supposed to be there. In fact, when we are between incarnations, we are often in that space, processing with our higher selves and our previous selves. So it's not. I wouldn't say it's a place that's a trap between dimensions. It serves a purpose in the greater scheme of things. It's the interlife.
Of all of the ghosts that I have met in a space that I would label as limbo, fear is what has kept them there. Fear of what is going on beyond that. Sometimes they don't necessarily recognize what's happened to them. And that has come into, there was an incident here recently where someone passed in a freak accident and was really loud and didn't realize what had happened. And then when it was explained to them, by the next morning, they're like, okay, I get it now. I understand what's happened. Okay. And they calmed down quite a bit once they were told what had happened to them. And then from that point, once they were calmed down and weren't so understood what was going on a little more, they were willing to have guides come in and help them go on.
I love Miss Tara D.
Oh,
In my
hi.
previous
Hey,
life,
how
I
are
was a
you
pro reader from Hawaii.
I hope you're doing
Oh, I
well.
love that. So let's see, where is the if you want to reach out to me, Adam, you can reach out to me on Instagram at Dailey LLC. That's probably the best way to get in touch with me. Or you can find me on Facebook as Jonathan James Dailey.
Yeah, I'm there too. Facebook land. But if you're off the grid, you ain't on Facebook now, are you? Or Instagram.
On
Yeah.
Instagram. God, do I have my email here?
Oh, good. Okay. Miss Tara D says today's a good day. I'm glad to hear that. I hope you're doing well.
Let me create a banner. If you would like to email me, you can reach me at dailyacupuncture@gmail.com. I'm surprised I didn't have that as a banner already.
There you go.
So, what do you have coming up? Do you have anything right now? Just our next gathering?
Just next month, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've got these guys coming next week. I have a few other things lined up for June. I'm thinking July I will be taking a break from the channel because I will be traveling. It's summer break.
Ooh, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going?
Well, we're going to go to California to visit my mom. And then Frank has set up a little, like a week away in Mexico.
Ooh, nice. Cool.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward just to like getting away. And although, you know, it's hard to leave and it's always so amazing to come home. Right? Right.
Yeah.
That's one thing I gotta say. You don't need a vacation if you love where you live. Oh, Gerald says, I'm working on some stuff you're invited to, Betsy. Nothing definite yet. Teasing everyone.
Absolutely.
Gerald, you are such a tease.
Sign me up. Sign me up. Yeah. I am, you know, I had to step back from wanting to build something with the psychic stuff because every time I do that, hi Kristen. Every time I do that, it ends up getting too much human intervention, you know, to do marketing and to do promotion. It takes a lot of three-dimensional focus. And that is so the antithesis of what I feel like my role is. So I am just going to continue saying that whoever the guides feel like they need to have someone hear something, they can put them in front of me.
Right.
Ooh.
Email.
There you go.
Upgrade
stateroom on the cruise. Now that's the one thing I do want to do. I want to take the inner island cruise again here. So I can.
I've never done that.
I did it a long time ago and I really enjoyed it because all the arrangement is not your responsibility. You just gotta decide what's interesting and show up there, which after, let's see, I don't know how many years here, 6 years of hosting for other people's vacation and trying to say that's my vacation, I kind of feel like I want to do my own vacation. So somebody can go with me on the cruise.
Oh, so someone I did a past life regression for, this is Benet. She lives on Maui. I found out my family history was of 16th century royalty. Remember our past life. So in the past life regression, I remember being a guy trapped in a cave, barefoot, and like hating the feeling of dirt. So in this life, she's always had this aversion to having dirt on her feet. So if 16th century royalty that was captured and put in a cave. There you go. I am feeling like we didn't do a group reading, and that's why we're still here.
Hey, I got the trash truck out front, but Adam has one more question here.
Betsy, have you ever had a medium session where the spirit said something personal about your own life that shocked you?
I'm going to say no, but frequently enough, they'll put somebody in front of me that has something that resonates with a process that I'm working on. So I guess it's a kind of a yes, because it's only happened a few times, not that many, but it will be timely enough information that I benefit from it. So, yeah.
Oh my God, this little Boston is being so destructive. What did you eat now? I see you started eating a pen. I swear. So the group reading, interesting enough, I pulled a devil, right? That's a crazy devil card.
That is a crazy devil card.
Spirit of Cups, which is equivalent of Knight of Cups. And the 10 of Cups.
Cool.
So I'm seeing this as being, it's about our emotions right now. A lot of us are feeling very emotional, a lot of emotional stuff boiling up that we're dealing with, because that is spring. Everything boils up to the surface, right? That's when we get the plants starting to grow. And even in acupuncture, when it's springtime, you don't have to put the needle in as deep to get the chi sensation. And it's funny that Pamela Batcher says the devil our mirror, because the oracle card just happens to be mirror. So I think part of this is a reminder that, like, yes, we all have these things that we're dealing with. We're all trying to do our best, working from the heart. But it's a reminder that only by realizing that we mirror each other's hurts, we can also mirror each other's blessings. And that by focusing on the good that we see in everybody and praising it, we are uplifting all of us as a whole. So we are each other's mirror, right? What is it that you're going to reflect back towards your fellow human beings? Are you going to reflect their hurt back to them? Or are you going to reflect love? And that's definitely the vibe I'm getting here. So don't forget that a lot of those chains are self-imposed.
I was going to say, own your stuff.
Own your stuff, right? And Adam Blue Fire says, intense collective emotional purging with those 3 cards. Yep. Well, I think we're just realizing that we all want the same thing in life. We just want a roof over our head, food on a plate, someone to love us. And that's basically it. I mean, we don't really need much else. And we're realizing that's true for everybody. We're all in the same boat together. We're all in the same rock floating through space. So.
Indeed. Only so much original thought to go around.
Right? Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Betsy. I love our...
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for all your questions. Much appreciated.
And thank you for the discussion, Adam. Reach out to me. I'd love to schedule something with you.
That sounds like fun.
Right. I will now play the short outro and hopefully time it just right so we don't flash up again at the end. Aloha and hui hou, everybody.
Hui hou.